Cool. So I'm just going to ask
Yep.
Matt here some testimonial questions. He's been kind enough to give me some feedback on the coaching. So, Matt, what was the obstacle that would have prevented you from coming on board with my coaching?
I think it would have been just the process of starting something new. I think it's very easy to put off starting something new, and for me it was like that. I knew that I wanted to get in touch with you and start training, but it was always like, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get this out of the way, then I'm going to do that. So that was one aspect of it. Another, I think, would have been it's always quite daunting to start something new as well. And in what, in an industry that, there's a lot of information about their good and bad. It was quite daunting, do I want to go down that road and do I want to actually do that? So that would have been probably the two main factors that were stopping me from doing something. You want instant results, and you want, but are you really willing to work hard for the results? You want those straight away, and I think people, certainly in my, you're almost like, do I really want to go through all this? And I said that was probably
Cool.
the largest facets of it.
Good. And what were your results before coming on board with the coaching?
Yeah, I mean, no real markers to really, no real progress, to be honest, results in any certain terms, because I knew how to throw together a session, put together a session, but I wasn't, making a note of my results, of my of what I was achieving, if I was achieving anything. So, I'd go in there, do a few machines, lift a few weights, and think, oh yeah, that's a good session, get a bit of a sweat on, and wasn't marking any true sort of results. So, I wasn't really going anywhere, plateauing, probably even going backwards, in some instances, and then there's no enjoyment out of it. You're just sort of going backwards, and you're sort of like, well, I've been going to the gym for X and X amount of months, but nothing's really happening to me. So,
what's the point, really?
So,
Cool.
yeah, I'd say no real
Good.
results, to be honest.
What were your results after coming on board?
Well, I think they've been pretty significant, to be honest. I've actually lost weight, which is, I don't think when you and I sat down and had a chat, I don't think weight loss was a real issue, was it? It was the fact that
like body fat, isn't it? We've kind of stripped away.
Yeah,
built
exactly.
muscle,
But I've lost weight, increased muscle mass. I've, like I said, I didn't really have any results about what I was lifting, but I know that I'm lifting significantly more now than I was. I'm not saying that's what it's all about, but I am. It's incredible to see, across the board, and most of my lifts are getting they're getting bigger. So
cool.
Really excellent results, which I'm really pleased with.
Nice, mate. So, what specific features do you like, or about the coaching itself?
I think for me, as I touched on earlier, it's a bit of a minefield, the industry, and you just make it so simple for the client. I know you run through everything so thoroughly before we start a block or a training block. It's just laid out in straightforward terms. And they're varied, we do different types of training, and you always explain why we're doing it, and I really enjoy it. It's excellent. The different blocks are always something different to get your teeth stuck into, and it's excellent. It's really straightforward manner, and just factoring into my lifestyle, really. I think it's work. Everyone has work stresses and social lives that take up a lot of time, and I think that's a massive factor in people putting it off, or not willing to do it, or undertaking it initially and then stopping after a while. So, but you just make it so easy to fit in. You come to the client and say, how do you want to structure it? What can you afford to do? Can you do 3 sessions a week? Can you do 4 sessions a week? Can you do 2 or whatever? And you know, instead of just saying you need to do this, you need to take time away from work or away from your social life, which would immediately put people off. And you factor it into people's lives, and it just makes it so much easier. You know, I wouldn't have thought that I had, once you actually structure your work-life balance into a, you know, you're training into that work-life balance, then it's seamless. You know, it actually fits in easily, and that structure and that routine, which is something that I actually do love. Once you fit your training in and around that, it works
I think
seamlessly.
They kind of help each other as well. So like your training as such has an impact onto your other areas of life. So in terms of work and everything else, I think massively.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool. What are 3 other benefits you experience from having Dan as your coach?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things going into it, I really wanted to improve my understanding and knowledge of nutrition. You know, it's amazing how little you actually do know and what you actually thought you knew leading into it. And that was one of the things that we discussed when I joined, was that I really wanted to improve my knowledge and understanding of nutrition. And I feel like I've done that. I still feel that there's plenty of room for improvement, but you know, I know that I've come a long way in the sort of 6 or so months that we've been working together, and that my improvement and knowledge has improved significantly. Physically, I don't think I've ever felt better. You know, energy levels always pretty high, you know, apart from straight after sessions or the day after. You know, it's just had such an improvement on my physique, which, you know, obviously just filters through to other things, confidence, you know, anxiety, stress, all seem to have been improved since we started training. Yeah, it's just, you know, like you say, work and life, you know, things are hard, things are tough, but, you know, I think the parallels of working out, exercising, and the plan that, you know, the work that we've done have helped me mentally no end. Like, I always feel so much, you might be struggling so much, tired, whatever, just, you know, that doing that bit of exercise, you just feel so much better for it. And that's in the short term. You know, in the long term, over time, it's been it's really helped mentally and physically as well.
Cool. Would you recommend Dan, and if so, why?
Absolutely. Of course, I'd recommend Dan. He's so passionate, so knowledgeable, and he genuinely cares and is interested about your results. You know, I've never had Dan's my first experience of having a coach or personal trainer, and you know, I've spoken to other people, and they say that, you know, it can be a little bit, you know, it's almost, the relationship's not quite there. You know, there's not much care. It's just more of a coming on board. Here's your plan. Here's your stick to this, eat that. Dan factors it in to suit you, the person, the individual. He genuinely cares about your results, your progress, how you're getting on. You know, as long as you do the things that he requires, which are great motivational, you know, proponents to actually aim for, then, you know, he will give you everything you need. He's readily contactable, available for you at most times of the day, and he's just great fun to work with. And, you know, the results that I've had are incredible, and, you know, I would really recommend him to absolutely anyone.